I'm an opera singer.
I'm a nightclub enchantress.
We're mixing our repertoire.
I do my best work in the toilet, and you do your best work where?
On the stage of the Metropolitan Opera.
Course,
yeah,
yes.
I sing some of your repertoire, and you kind of sing some of mine.
I kind of sing.
Under pressure. Pressure.
Welcome to London, my old hometown. And I've just discovered that both of you are not London virgins. You've been here before. And Vivian, last time you were in a different incarnation. So you're performing your smash hit show from St. Anne's called An Octave Apart. So
Only an octave apart.
Only an octave apart. So can you tell me briefly in your own words, without giving it all away, what it's about?
Well, it's actually was inspired by the performance that Carol Burnett and Beverly Sills did at the Met, where they sort of played up the differences in their pedigrees, and then you come to see how much they have in common while they do that.
So, Tony, how did you come and meet up and come up with the idea, the two of you?
Well, you know, I first saw Vivian perform over 10 years ago, probably 12 years ago or 13 years ago. And a friend took me, a mutual friend of ours, and I had no idea what to expect. And within 30 seconds, I was completely gobsmacked and thought that this was one of the best performers I'd ever seen. And that feeling only crescendoed over the course of the evening to the point where I felt I had to meet them at the end of the show. So I asked my friend, can we go meet Viv? And I went and very boldly said to Viv, well, I'd like to sing in your next show.
And
because it's so attractive, I said yes.
So without giving it all away again, just tell me a few of the numbers that you will sing, and how did you come to choose them? Because you're far apart in your musical tastes, stars rather.
Well, we wanted to find things that straddled or at least referenced pop culture and classical music. So we found I was interested in finding contemporary music, you know, like this song All by Myself by Eric Carmen from the 70s. That's based on the classical composition. And so to find songs that had those through lines that wove classical and contemporary music together, that was the sort of way we started. And then we just sort of found things. And then somebody said, oh, you should do, meaning me, that I should do a classical composition. And this friend of ours suggested I do Dido's Lament. And I was like, I can't sing Dido's Lament. But then Anthony mentioned doing that song. And I wanted to hear Anthony do it because I was interested in hearing Anthony do songs that were part of the queer lexicon. And Sylvester had done, you know, Stars, and Sylvester sang very high. And then there was that great version of Dido's Lament by
Klaus Nomi.
And then I thought, well, if he does Dido's Lament, then I can do Dido. And so we put Dido's Lament and Dido together, and together it became something even and more powerful, I think. And so that was our goal, to bring elements together to make something even more powerful than they were on their own.
The show doesn't just sound stunning, it's so visual as well. So is it more opera or cabaret, or is it both?
Well, you know, we are very fortunate to work with the best collaborators, including Zach Winokur, who's our co-creator and our director. And really, you know, instead of just being a review with two stools and a microphone, Zach has elevated it with this incredible lighting by John Torres and these beautiful sets by Carlos Soto. And then, of course, thrillingly, Jonathan Anderson, the famous fashion designer from Loewe, and Jonathan Anderson, his brand, have made us these beautiful costumes. So the whole thing is kind of like a fever dream and an aesthetic experience rather than just a concert. And it makes it, as you say, very theatrical to the point of catharsis, which is what opera really is. But the communication between us and the spontaneity that we find with each interlude of talking to each other between these songs, that feels very much like cabaret. So it really is a hybrid of the two things, and an exciting one.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned Jonathan Anderson, because I absolutely adored what he did for you. But whose idea was it to perform at the wonderful Wilton's Music Hall, which is just perfect for you two?
I don't know whose idea it was, but it is a place I've wanted to perform for quite a while. When I think even shortly before they refurbed it, I saw that Mark Almond was performing there, and I'm a huge fan of Mark Almond, and I thought it would be a beautiful venue. And then I was there the summer before COVID, and I saw my friends Bourgeois and Maurice.
Oh, we love them.
Yeah,
we love
them perform there, and I thought this is a wonderful venue. And so our producers that we're working with looked at a lot of spaces, and that was one that they mentioned, and I think we were both immediately excited by that.
It has such an amazing history, of course, of 400 years. But at the same time, you see operas happen there. You see queer performances happen there. It really covers the ground between what Viv and I do in a way that gives it the right feeling. And also, it's an intimate room such that I think we can connect to people in a special way.
Yeah. But Viv, you have a real knack for choosing venues, because I saw you many years ago as Kiki in London performing on a really sad tourist boat. It was so perfect, but I had trouble convincing my friend, quite an intelligent one, that you weren't a drunk. And it wasn't your usual venue. It was so perfect for that.
Yes, that was one of the happiest periods in my life. That was the HMS President, and sadly, it's no longer there.
But it just felt, Anthony, it just felt like we were on the real thing. It was not an act at all. Actually, this is the first time I met you, or first time I met you. Where do we see you normally when you're not with Viv?
At the Metropolitan Opera, at the English National Opera in London, or performing all around the place, places, I just performed at the BBC Proms in London. And so, I haunt these kind of classical venues. But ever since I was a teenager, I've wanted to explore different modes of expression for opera, singing in a Merchant Ivory film, or at the Guggenheim, or at Madison Square Garden, or in a kabuki theater in Tokyo. So as much as I make the classical circuit my home, I'm always trying to find myself in new contexts. Otherwise I get bored out of my mind.
That's good. And Viv has a wonderful knack of choosing the right people to work with. My husband is so annoyed that I keep playing you and Taylor Mack singing "Were You There When I Crucified My Lord." It's my favorite video of all time.
Well, thank you.
And I hope Dido's Lament would be my next favorite one, because they'll probably enjoy that. So you're there for a whole month, and our London editors come in to see your show. And we're going to put the details at the end, plus the fact your album is out now. So in the meantime, are you just wrapped up in the funeral?
We're wrapped up in rehearsal, but we have been following. I don't have a TV, so I went over to my girlfriend's house the other night, and we sat on the couch and watched all of the coverage of the funeral.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting time to be there. As tragic as it is, I as somebody who likes to witness history, I feel like in a way we're very fortunate that we will be there in order to experience it firsthand. I arrive Saturday morning, so I'll be strolling around central London on Monday, just like everybody else, I think.
Yeah, you're there for a month. We're going to put the details up. Have a wonderful time in London, and I'm so excited you're there. And please bring the show to Provincetown.
Oh, we'd love to. I had so much fun over the summer at the town hall, which
Yeah,
is where we
yeah,
should
you-
play.
yeah.
That would be a wonderful thing to do. I'd love that.
Well, a lot of people in P-Town see what I record. So if you're watching this, please ask them back. Thank you for talking to me today and enjoy the rest of your time. We're there.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And it's me and my shadow, all alone and feeling blue.
C'est une chanson qui nous ressemble, toi qui m'aimes.
I thought it was a great idea, the two of us together, but I didn't exactly know why.
Stick a stone, it's the end of the road. It's the rest of a stump. It's a little alone. It's a sliver of glass. It is light. It is fun. It is night. It is death. It's a trap. It's a gun. The oak when it blooms.
A fox in the brush,
A knot in the wood.
the song of a thrush,
The wood of the wind.
a cliff, a
A
fall.
scratch, a lump.
It is nothing at all.
It's the wind blowing free. It's the end of the slope. It's a hunch. It's a bull.